Save the world or save your world? Which would you pick? Now, for some, the answer is very simple. A ton of lives versus one life. It should be a no-brainer in theory, but simple doesn't always mean easy. So if you had two buttons in front of you, one for each choice, would you be able to make the right choice? And more importantly, is there actually a right choice? Well, before we can even talk about that, you have to pick up where we saw Joel and Ellie last. If you're new here, this is actually a part 2, and I have part 1 up on my channel, so you might want to go watch that so you don't get confused. So Joel and Ellie are still on their way to Jackson, which is where Joel's brother Tommy lives. Ellie still has to be delivered to the Firefly since, she's immune. And Tommy used to be a Firefly, so he definitely knows where to go. Meaning that right now, Tommy is the key, so it is really important that we find him. The vibes are a bit low right now because of everything that happened with Henry and Sam. Ellie wants to talk about it a little bit, but Joel makes it clear to not bring them up. It's clear that the entire thing took a toll on the two of them, but there's unfortunately just no time to grieve in this world. So we approach some sort of water dam, and after figuring out how to get across, we get a high five from our goat. So we're like about halfway into the game now, and it's clear how much the relationship between Joel and Ellie has grown. They've both been through a lot together, and experiencing things like that with someone can only strengthen your bond. They've been traveling together for, months now? And only have each other, so it's no surprise that they warm up to each other pretty quickly. We try to take a shortcut through the power plant, but we're stopped when some people start pointing some guns at us. Not fun at all. We explain ourselves even though we didn't have to, because one of those people is Tommy, and the other woman is his wife. Yeah, he got married, and good for him. So we thank our sister-in-law for not killing us, and we walk with the two of them. We find out that this plant was powering Jackson, which is a town where Tommy and a bunch of other families actually live. So we split up so Ellie can get some food with Maria, because she's a 14-year-old, so of course she's starving. And it's here where Tommy actually gives Joel a little relic of his past. It's a photo of him and Sarah. You can actually find this photo in Joel's house at the beginning of the game too, but I got no footage of that. But Joel actually gives the photo back to Tommy, saying he doesn't want it. I'm not the brightest bulb, honestly, but I'm pretty sure we can understand that Joel simply just wants to forget that part of his life, and you can't blame him. Sarah was his everything before the outbreak, and everything around him is exactly what killed his daughter. He doesn't want the memory of her just sitting in his pocket. He's not ready for it. So Joel tells Tommy that they need to talk, and then he tells him about Ellie and her immunity. He's skeptical, rightfully so, but Joel tells him it's real and that he needs Tommy to bring Ellie to the Fireflies. But Tommy doesn't want to. I mean, it makes sense. The guy has a family now, a wife, and even if he could send someone else to do it, like Joel says, they all have families too. They get in a little argument, but before it can even go anywhere, they're interrupted, which happens a lot in this game when bandits attack the plant. Now we fight them off and make our way back to Ellie and Maria, where Joel's just making sure that Ellie's okay, as she's explaining what happened. Right here is exactly when Tommy realizes that Joel cares about Ellie a lot and decides that he will take her to the Fireflies. Maria is angry, of course, and tells Joel that if anything happens to Tommy, she's going to boil Pepsi and splash it in our face. Okay, she didn't say that, but she just threatened us, basically. Pretty scary. But before we can even gather any thoughts, we find out that Ellie actually took one of the horses and just left. So naturally, Tommy and Joel go after her. Now we get stopped by a couple bandits who are absolutely no match for Joel, the serial killer. And we eventually find where Ellie is hiding out at.
Is this really all they had to worry about? Boys, movies, deciding which shirt goes with which skirt.
Get up. We're leaving.
And if I say no?
Do you even realize what your life means? Huh? Running off like that, putting yourself at risk, it's pretty goddamn stupid.
Well, I guess we're both disappointed with each other then.
What do you want from me?
Admit that you wanted to get rid of me the whole time.
Well, I'm sorry. I trust him better than I trust myself.
Stop with the bullshit. What are you so afraid of? That I'm gonna end up like Sam? I can't get infected. I can take care of myself.
How many close calls have we had?
Well, we seem to be doing all right so far.
And now you'll be doing even better with Tommy.
Maria told me about Sarah.
Ellie?
And
you are treading on some mighty thin ice here.
everyone I have cared for has either died or left me. Everyone fucking except for you.
Now this is genuinely one of the best scenes in the entire game. Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker are phenomenal, and I don't know if I can say that enough. They really convey their emotions so well. The little things like the way he raised his voice when saying Ellie's name because of how much pain he felt. just from hearing Sarah's name and being reminded of her just really adds so much. And how Ashley delivers her lines about how everyone she's cared for has either just left her or died. It really just cuts deep. And the animation is just perfect too. The look in Joel's eye when he's just warning Ellie about how she's crossing a line by saying Sarah's name and bringing her up. It's all just so good. But before we can get anywhere, the conflict is interrupted abruptly by combat. Not the first time, and it for sure isn't the last. So after we wipe everyone out, we head to Little Cliff and get to see Jackson in all of his glory. It's a beautiful town, but unfortunately, we won't see much of it right now. Joel, in classic dad fashion, tells Ellie that he loves her without telling her. He tells her to hop off her horse and get on the back of his. And our next stop is the Fireflies lab at the University of Eastern Colorado. So the university section of The Last of Us seems pretty minor when you compare it to the rest of the game. But honestly, it's one of my favorite parts. Besides the beautiful environment and the fall aesthetic, Joel and Ellie are pretty positive again. It seems like they're about to reach the end of their journey, which is exciting to Ellie, and they both connect a lot during this mission. Whether it's Ellie asking about how football works or Joel telling Ellie about how he wanted to be a singer. It's all just so wholesome, and by the end of this mission, they just rip our hearts out completely. But more on that in just a minute. While going through this university and all the different rooms and areas, it really just made me wonder how scary this all could have been. I mean, we know it's terrifying, of course, because it's a zombie apocalypse. But we really only see it from Joel, Tommy, and Sarah's point of view. We don't see how scared all the kids in their dorms were, or how the infected first made their way to this university specifically. I know it's just one story of the many, but the thought of thousands of students and professors just being taken out by this infection is really tragic. And it also begs the question, what was Outbreak Day like for other people in this world? To me, that's always one of the most interesting parts about all apocalypse stories, seeing where people were, what they were doing, and then in the blink of an eye, just how everything can turn upside down. A side story talking about that would be really cool, honestly, but let's focus on the present. So the Fireflies abandoned ship. They're now cooped up at a hospital in Salt Lake City, which, as Joel says, is definitely not close. There's not much time to converse, though, because we realize we're not alone. We fight some enemies off, and when it seems like things are good and that we're about to get out of here, everything gets flipped completely upside down. Joel's fighting off a bandit until he falls, and a metal pipe goes right through him. Or I should say, he goes right through the metal pipe. And when I saw this, I literally screamed like, God dang, I know that hurt. So Ellie helps us up, and Joel's fighting for his life right now. But thankfully, we have a go here to lock in for us. So I said in my part 1 video that if you replaced Ellie with Sam here and in the winter arc, he would not survive or do as well as Ellie did. I still stand on that. I feel that way because 1, well, Ellie is like a year or maybe 2 older, yeah. But 2, Sam was also extremely sheltered by Henry, and he wasn't as independent and confident as Ellie is. Now I know Ellie is scared. Of course she is. She's a kid in this crazy world. But she still has that confidence to the point where she won't hesitate to shoot someone to save Joel or herself, as we can clearly see. So Ellie takes out the entire lobby, gets a squad wipe, and helps us get to the horse. We ride away, but the injury is clearly too much for Joel to handle, so he passes out. So it's been a few weeks minimum since Joel's injury. The weather has changed a lot, there's snow everywhere now, and Ellie's out hunting for food. And we can tell she's been doing this for quite some time. Again, showing how independent Ellie is and how she can do what she needs to do to survive. And oh shoot, we get to play as Ellie. Wow. Now, I didn't play the game when it originally came out because I was busy being, just a wee little lad. But if any of you did, let me know if it surprised you that you got to play as Ellie. I'd assume that they want to hide that fact in like the trailers and stuff, but let me know. So after we chase down this deer we're trying to hunt, we get approached by 2 nice and very calm men who seem pretty, kind. The one on the left, named David, wants the deer we hunted and is willing to give us anything we need in exchange for it, including medicine. And of course, our girl agrees because Joel's back home fighting demons. So David sends his buddy to go bring the medicine while Ellie and him wait. And honestly, Nolan North is genuinely a master of his craft. He went from Nathan Drake to playing this weird, creepy, dirty, nasty guy and just locked in for this performance like it was nothing. Truly a professional, just like everyone else with a role in this game. Everyone had some crazy good performances and deserve all their flowers. So our peaceful wait gets interrupted when some infected start attacking the little shed that we're in. And we find out that David had another gun, even though we took his rifle before. Can I blame him? No. Do I trust him? Absolutely not. So we fight off the infected in a section that reminded me so much of the cabin in RE4. We leave the shed and maneuver through this super random building. There's some more infected, specifically clickers, but they're no match for Ellie the serial killer. So we get into another room, have another little defending against the infected type gauntlet. Then we head back to where we were originally. And here we get one of the most tense scenes in the entire game.
Oh, no. No such thing as luck. Now, you see, I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Sure.
I do. And I can prove it to you. Now, this winter, that's been especially cruel. A few weeks back, I sent a group of men out to a nearby town to look for food. Only a few came back. They said that the others had been slaughtered by a crazy man. And get this, he's a crazy man traveling with a little girl. You see, everything happens for a reason.
So David let us go, with the medicine as well. Huh. Maybe he's not so bad after all. Ellie gets back to her little hideout and takes care of Joel, and it is so heartbreaking seeing Ellie do all this for Joel as he's just there completely unable to even move. She's moving mountains to save his life, and it shows how much she really does care for him. So we wake up and see that this little ball of piss David actually sent people to track us. I gotta admit, pretty clever to let us go so he can follow us, but I still hate the guy. Trust me, I hate him. Ellie tries to escape quietly, which clearly doesn't work. You have an entire escape section of about 30 or maybe more grown men trying to kill a 14-year-old girl. It's not even funny, but just looking at it in that way is crazy. Like, that actually had me crying. And the tears will keep coming because Callus actually perishes because one of Dirty David's men actually shot her. So we jump through this little window and now we're surrounded by David's men. And the only way out is to kind of slaughter them. Yeah, that same 14-year-old girl, she's cooking everyone here. Not really much to discuss here. And then sweet freedom at last. Okay, never mind. So we get captured by David and he's holding us in a little cell right now. He gives us food with a side of human seasoning probably and tries to give Ellie one last chance to come around basically and be on his side. And this disgusting, vile, nasty predator is touching Ellie in a way that made me want to just replay the cutscene of Ellie beating him over and over again. Ellie breaks this little predator's fingers and then drops the second hardest line in the entire game.
Ellie is the little girl that broke your fucking finger.
I said second, but trust me, number one is coming up in just a second. So Joel wakes up and it is so sweet that his first thought is Ellie. My boy is barely standing and probably feeling awful, but he still goes out into the cold to try and look for Ellie. We get interrupted when more fodder shows up for us. No challenge for Joel though, of course. It's basically just a little warm up. Well, that is until two guys actually get the jump on Joel, but he still makes quick work of them and brings them inside. So Joel's interrogating one of the guys and uses one of the most smart and creative interrogation methods I've ever seen. Well, to be fair, I'm not really well versed in interrogation, but you know what I mean. It's still pretty cool. So one guy is supposed to mark the spot on the map where David is holding Ellie at, which, you know, right now be his town. And the other guy is supposed to verify that. Joel, though, is he's just Mr. Aura himself. And I'll let the rest of the clip play.
Go on. I tell you, I ain't lying. I ain't. Fuck you, man. He told you what you wanted. I ain't telling you shit.
That's all right. I believe him.
No, wait!
Yeah, that was the hardest line in the entire game. So David's buddy from before wakes Ellie up and it's time to get chopped up. So Ellie is running out of time and just shouts out that she's infected, which gives her just enough time to make her move. She lightly pricks the other guy and makes her escape. Now we're just in David's town and you can't see anything. And this place is literally a maze. Snow is everywhere and so are David's men who are trying to just cut us up like a Christmas ham. And again, this place is a maze. I genuinely got lucky when I found out like where I had to go. So we get inside a huge little dining hall type building, and just when it seems like we're gonna escape, David grabs us. So here we get our first and last boss fight of the entire game. We have to maneuver around the entire room and get a jump on David. Since we're a 14-year-old girl only armed with a knife, meaning face-to-face combat is kind of out of the question. We cook him in hide and seek, but unfortunately, Ellie gets knocked out when David throws her to the ground. And then we're playing as Papa Joel again. Nice. So Joel reaches David's town, and he is not playing around. We slaughter all of the enemies in our sight and eventually walk into a room with hanging bodies. Bodies that are not there just for decoration. Yeah, they're eating people, if it wasn't clear. So we see the building on fire, and Joel rushes in to save Ellie. Now as Ellie again, a lot of jumping around here. We try to crawl to the machete, but David, being the little prick he is, does not make it easy. He grabs us, but Ellie can finally get a hold of it and give that weirdo exactly what he deserves. And this scene, wow. We see Ellie at the angriest that she's ever been. After everything that she's been through the past few weeks, all of the anger, the emotion, and pain is being let out right here. And Joel, with the way that he comforts Ellie, calling her a baby girl, just like how he used to with Sarah, and how Ellie immediately confides in Joel about how what David was going to do to her because she feels safe now being next to him. I mean, it's perfect. There's no other way to put it. Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson, again, are masterful here and really elevate the scene so much. You could feel Ellie's emotion and relief when Joel is holding her, and she can just let it all out and cry. I could go on about this part for hours, but we have no time because we just reached Salt Lake City, meaning we're one step closer to actually getting a cure. So it's clear that everything in the winter section of this game took a bit of a toll on Ellie. She's much more quiet than usual. She moves around pretty slow and just doesn't pay as much attention to what Joel is saying. Not in a disrespectful way, but she just mentally checked out. And right now, things feel like the exact opposite of the beginning of the game. Joel's extremely talkative now and is telling Ellie a bunch of things and going on and on. Meanwhile, Ellie is just there, silent. We even cut through a building and try to give Ellie a little boost, but we turn around and homegirl is just sitting down, zoned out. It's honestly heartbreaking to see her like this, but thankfully, she puts a smile back on her face in just a few minutes. We head up and have to dang chase after her so she can show us what she saw. We keep walking and eventually see giraffes in all their majestic glory. It's even better when you realize that Ellie has literally probably never seen a giraffe ever. And if she did, it was only in a book, maybe. So this is probably like seeing an angel, literally. We get to the top of the building and have a nice little callback to the first nice view we saw with Ellie. And then we get a gorgeous shot of the two of them just leaning up against the edge, just looking at the city and the giraffes. And you can stay here as long as you want, thankfully. And if you guys have been watching me, then you know I'm a sucker for these kind of scenes in the game. And I really took my time up here, honestly, especially considering the fact that it was our last peaceful moment. So when you walk away whenever you're ready, Joel reminds Ellie that they don't have to do this and they could just turn back right now. And bro is definitely saying that because he does not want to lose Ellie. But we'll pretend like we don't know that. And Ellie tells him that it can't all be for nothing and that she has to go through with it. And trust me, Ellie, unfortunately, you're going to get a whole lot of nothing. But we'll get there soon. So we walk through an old QZ and right before we leave, Ellie gives us something. The same photo of Joel and Sarah that Tommy tried to give us before back at the plant. But this time though, Joel's ready to take it and thanks Ellie. It really shows how much Joel's love for Ellie has grown and how he's actually grown as a person as well. He was almost mad at Tommy for even wanting to give him that picture. But when Ellie does it later on, he just accepts it with grace. It's a beautiful thing, honestly. So we go underground just a little bit and get our final little infected gauntlet. Now, not gonna lie, this cooked me on my first few attempts. That dang bloater just never died. But when I learned that I could actually sneak past a decent amount of them, trust me, I was gone. So not much happens here. We go through the tunnels for a bit and do some thinking to figure out how to get from point A to point B. You know, the usual. Until we step on the weakest platform ever and nearly drown. Until the Go Ellie is about to save us again. Wait, why is she here? She can't swim. She tries her best to help us. Things go south again and we have to get to her before she drowns this time. After we get her out the water, we try to, get her breathing again until this dickwad soldier just knocks us out. Like, come on, bro. We weren't even a threat. Anyways, though, we wake up in the hospital and, oh, shoot, Marlene is here. And she tells us, welcome to the Fireflies. So, yeah, the same soldiers who knocked us out were actually Fireflies, and we're at St. Mary's Hospital, which was our destination anyways. Okay, wow, we actually did it. Now it's time to see Ellie, right?
Prepped for surgery.
hell you mean surgery?
The doctors tell me the cordyceps, the growth inside her, has somehow mutated. Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine. A vaccine.
But it grows all over the brain.
It does.
Find someone else.
There is no one else.
Listen, you were gonna show me where...
Stop. I get it. But whatever it is you think you're going through right now is nothing to what I have been through. I knew her since she was born. I promised her mother I would look after her.
Then why are you letting this happen?
Because this isn't about me, or even her.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that bullshit.
March him out of here. He tries anything, shoot him.
Oh, so of course Joel's pissed since the surgery will literally kill her because the infection actually grows on the brain. But we can't do much about it right now since Marlene tells the soldier to shoot us if we try anything. I can't believe how okay Marlene is with this. Like, at least let the guy talk to Ellie. He's been with her for months. I think he deserves a goodbye at the very least. But we get none of that, and the soldier just escorts us out. Now, Joel knows it'd be idiotic to fight the Firefly, so he just complies and walks away. Yeah, he's not gonna let that slide. So in the hospital, we get our last little regular human enemy gauntlet, and it's not the easiest, I won't lie. These guys do some pretty crazy damage, and you gotta play your cover properly. So after fighting dang near every Firefly, we finally reached the surgery room, and it has all been leading to this. Remember the beginning of the video when I asked what you would rather do? Save the world or save your world? Now, luckily, none of you have to make that choice right now, but Joel does, and he doesn't have time to think about it. Nor does he have time to think about whether it's the right choice or not, but he made his choice. So we get to the garage and Marlene is there just in time to try and stop us. She tells us that it won't be painful and we can still make the right decision, the right choice. We cut to Joel driving with no Ellie in sight, and right before we can even shed our tears, our girl wakes up in the backseat looking and feeling great. Ellie asks us what happened and Joel does something extremely detrimental. He just lies to her about everything. Yeah, he just tells her there's a bunch more immune kids there, that the Fireflies have stopped looking for a cure, and all this stuff, even though he knows what he really did.
You just come after her.
So we get out of the car, and this time we're playing as Ellie. We're right next to Jackson, and before we continue, Ellie opens up to Joel a little bit about exactly what happened when she lost her best friend when they were bit, and how she's still waiting for her turn to just go out. And then we get the iconic moment.
What you want to hear right now?
Swear to me. Swear to me that everything that you said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Okay.
So The Last of Us is genuinely nothing short of a masterpiece, honestly. This game is definitely in my top probably 10 and just changed a lot for me. Made me look at people differently, things, and the fact that and how you have to find something to live for and fight for, something to give you a reason to keep going. You know, there's gonna be some people who say this game is overrated and is hyped up, and of course they will, because, you know, that's just people in video games. But if you haven't played this game yourself for any reason, please go play it. You will not be disappointed. This story was perfect in my opinion, and all the actors, actresses, and just everyone involved with this game really just did their thing and cooked. It is a literal 10 out of 10. And I put this game off for the longest, like before I played it, but I quickly realized that was a mistake. Regarding The Last of Us Part 2, I am not sure if I'm covering that. That game is pretty controversial, and also I don't know if I'm ready to get in that mindset right now. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all so much for the support. Thank you for 70 subscribers. Crazy. I just made my last video and I was getting hype about being at 30, and then you guys are just going crazy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for just watching the video, taking time out of your day to do that. Really means a lot to me. So guys, if you liked the video, then leave a like or subscribe, you know, it's free. And it would really mean a lot to me too. So let me know any game you guys want to see me cover. And don't worry, for all my Life is Strange fans, Before the Storm is coming up soon. Have a great day, guys. Stay safe and stay hydrated. Peace.
It's me.
Joel.